Welcome, everyone. It's lovely to see you today. We are all holding so many feelings that maybe haven't been expressed or can't yet be expressed by that verbal part of our brain, because some of these feelings are just too big. They're being processed. But that's one of the beauties of our Soul Circle community, is that we learn to express through our art and our journaling. And we have a true master with us today. I'll tell you, I love Keren. I just love her. Like, I found her through YouTube, and I found her to be such a safe person to learn from. And when I say safe, I mean she was so encouraging, and she moved at a pace that was good for me. She explained things. She allowed opportunities for, personalization and customizing it. So I was absolutely thrilled to find out she would be a Soul Circle guest teacher this year. And we also, like, now seeing what's happening in the world, we think the timeliness, the synchronicity of this is magical.
Mhm.
So I'm going to turn it over to you, Keren, and I'm here to support you in whatever way I can do. Okay.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I know I've met a lot of you already in the past a few soul sessions that I've actually attended. Oh gosh, hold on. I'm seeing myself and I always see the gallery. I'm like, okay, I don't want to see just myself up there. It was like weird. So I I was born in Israel, and yeah, that's what she means about synchronicity. I live in Toronto, and I left Israel when I was a year old, and we moved to Venezuela first, and actually, so I have a few nationalities, but my heart has always been in Israel. And with everything that has happened this week, and it was really hard. It's been really hard for me to stay silent. I have lots of family in Israel, but it's not only that. It's like when you say family, I mean, my sister lives there, my uncles and my aunt, my cousins, but it is also like 7 million other Israelis that are suffering right now. And maybe it is not coincidence. I have suffered a lot unrelated to this through many different difficult things in my life. Like I know many of you have, because we've talked about this in this really safe space. And I believe that that strength is helping me now, even though any moment I want to cry, I am trying to hold that right now until I finish at least a few sentences, although I mean I don't promise that. And I really feel what Rakefet is doing right now, what Iris is doing right now, helping, because there is so much help, like I said, coming from the physical products and physical things and donations and monetary donations that are coming from everywhere in the world. But none of us can be there right now, or maybe some of you are, but to actually be able to help physically the people, help them with, I mean, we could do Zoom sessions with them, but Rakefet has this amazing uh, thing that she's doing where she's actually going to the displaced people, those that basically, not only them, but anybody who has suffered through trauma and needs anything, and is actually volunteering to teach them the soul circle method so they can heal through their trauma. And she's right now raising funds to buy art supplies. I wish I could send her art supplies, but they will just never get there, not in time or get there at all. So if any of you want, Pam will post, oh, there, she just posted a link to the PayPal, and this will go directly for her buying and making art journals, buying art supplies so they can help anybody in Israel that needs that. She's going to actual centers where this is happening and helping them, I think in person or on Zoom. I'm not sure actually if it's, Pam, if it's in I think both, right? In both in
I believe,
person and
yeah,
on Zoom.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, and they have a group of all the facilitators from different years, especially the Israeli ones who are helping as well. So this is a really, if you are not sure how to help and you don't know, like sometimes obviously prayers help, and never staying silent and not never again, right? From anything that has happened, not only to the Jewish people, but to many, many um, um, people around the world. I mean, just you can't stay silent. We know this from the indigenous people. We can't stay silent because silence is the worst thing that can happen. So sharing things is really important. Reaching out to a Jewish friend or anybody who's suffering. If you know somebody, or if you're Jewish and still, I mean, and needs support, there's many organizations that are sending, that are giving free therapy. At least in Toronto there is. I don't know if in other cities. And reach out, just say hello, just say I'm here. I've been, it's been hard for me because some very good friends have not even said a word, and they know I have family in Israel. It has been hard. It's a little bit hard to swallow. However, we are strong, and we know that we have the emotional capabilities of getting through this, because it has happened before, unfortunately. Having said that, I don't know if anybody else wants to share anything, needs our support, and please, if you want to say something or not, it's not necessary, and then we'll start the session, because I have something really nice planned for today.
My husband also was born in Israel, and he left when he was 9. He still has family there. And you're right about friends reaching out. People just aren't calling. I have one cousin that did call, and to check on him and to check how his family is doing. And we're really very secular Jewish. We're not religious at all. But today I was thinking maybe we should go to synagogue. Maybe we should do that just to feel a sense of community. He's not talking a lot about what's going on, but he has concerns. He has a nephew that's been in the army, and we're worried that he'll be called up. And he has a brother and other nieces and nephews, and it's very hard watching, because you want to have compassion for everybody. You want peace for everybody. But what was done was so horrible that it's difficult to get there.
Yeah, it is very difficult to kind of comprehend, understand. It's not something that human beings, I mean, it's not the first time this has happened. We've seen it, not only to the Jewish people. We're talking about like I mentioned, the indigenous people. I mean, the way they suffered in those schools, I'm like, I don't understand how history constantly repeats itself, but it's human beings, right? They just don't know. And those that are not reaching out, it's interesting, because I understand that some people don't know, don't have words, cannot comprehend, and they don't know what to say. But sometimes you don't even have to say anything at all. You just have to send a heart emoji, or it's not really hard to just say, I'm thinking of you. I am here for you. Do you need anything? Whatever it is, you don't have to take sides. Nobody needs to take sides here. I mean, they should, but they're not being forced to take sides. You take the sides of humanity. You take the sides of being human, and that's the most important thing. Like, it is, yeah. It's a little bit hard, but I know that as humans, we can, at least ourselves, the more people that can bring light into this world. This is what we need today, is to bring light. And I am determined to bring light. That is what my name means. So it is Just know, for all those Karens that people make fun of, just so you know, the word Karen is ray of light in Hebrew. So for all those Karens that don't like this is exactly what it means. So let's not use, I can't handle the derogatory part of Karen, but it is, yes. So anybody else wants to share anything?
Just say
If
that
not, we,
myself and my husband have been the heads of an Israel Solidarity Committee for the last 18 years in our community, in our synagogue. And there, the whole community really has come together. And it's wonderful because when you speak about support and people reaching out, they're reaching out from all sides. So it's been very comforting. And we're in touch with many people in Israel right now on a daily basis. So our heart goes out to all of you, and you have our support.
exactly, yeah. You're so right. I'll just keep on switching myself out. Okay. So so today's theme is interesting because we obviously didn't know, but coincidental. I don't know if I connect to butterflies a lot. The theme of the month is butterfly aura, right? Is that what it was? Butterfly aura. And somehow I've always connected to butterflies. There's something, one of my favorite quotes is about butterflies. And it's the one where just when the butterfly thought the world was over, sorry, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite quotes because that is exactly, I think, how many of us as humans feel, not only in these times, but in many times where we're think like the world is almost our inner world is almost over, or not over in the sense of fatality, but like that, you know, just you cannot see the light and suddenly the light is there to see us through things. So one of the things I wanted to do today is go through a little visualization. I can't say that word somehow. It's something about how we would feel if we were butterflies and what we're going to see. And that's when and then from there, we're going to go and we're going to create our own personal butterfly. Now, I made one. I don't know if you saw it in the pictures. It's this one. I made this 3 weeks ago. I was in a very positive and happy mood, and I saw a field of flowers, but I don't know what I will see today. It might be completely different today, and it might be different for you. Don't just whatever you visualize, whatever you imagine, that's great, and we're gonna paint that today. So the first thing I want you to do is just close your eyes if you want, and just feel comfortable and relaxed. And I just want you to imagine yourself almost in a womb or in a cocoon, if you want to say, really warm. And it is dark inside, but it's a very good darkness. It's that darkness that when you go to sleep and that you just feel very safe and very warm, all curled up, almost like your knees are bent towards your chest, and you feel warm and protected, and no harm can come to you. It is a very safe place, a place of just safety. And as you're kind of waking up, and visualize yourself almost waking up and using either your hands or your body or whatever it is, and the cocoon around you starts opening up and starts kind of opening this wall that is around you, this protective wall, and you start seeing like specks of light. And for each person, that light will be different, that color will be different, whatever you see. And you use your hands to kind of almost like tear that light apart, like to tear that curtain or that piece of whatever it is that you are imagining in your cocoon, and slowly try to open it so much that you can actually get through, and at that point you're released from the cocoon and start flying. And imagine yourself as a butterfly. You can imagine how your butterfly looks like, what your colors are your wings, what colors are above you. You can look up. Do you see the sky? Do you see something else? Do you see cosmos? Do you see just whatever you see? And especially as you're flying, I want you to look down. And I want you to imagine as you're flying and look at all the colors, textures, designs, whatever you see at the bottom, whatever you can imagine. There's nothing particular I can tell you. That I don't want to guide you in what you're imagining, because I want you to be your own butterfly and to fly above whatever it is, whether it is something that is you're going through right now, or whether it's something that you're flying towards, some kind of like happy place, anything that you're going through, because we can imagine those colors and those textures, or if you see lines, or if you see any shapes, whatever you see, just continue flying. And I want you to go up and down. So as you're flying, get very close to the ground. Can you see it from a very close perspective? What colors are you seeing when you're closer, as opposed to what colors are you seeing from up above? And is the land changing? Is there like different, sizes of things, or are you going from one land to another? Things were changing. Like for me right now, the colors are very different than what it was 3 weeks ago. And that is what I want you to imagine. And for each person, that will be different. And what I want you to do is just continue flying as if there is no care in the world, as if you're just happy. Whatever that means to you, because every person, that will be different for them. And as you're flying, you're going to land on a spot. I want you to land on any spot you feel comfortable and safe. And you land. And once you land there, I want you to breathe in the scents, the aromas. Is your butterfly tasting anything? Is it seeing anything different? And just stay there in peace. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I want you to, we're going to take this time and we're going to write about it. If you have a watercolor, it doesn't have to be watercolor, but a thick paper. I prefer not a printer paper, just because we're going to be cutting out the butterfly out of this. One side will be all our thoughts, and in the other one, it will be something else. So you can write in any language you want. You can write in anything, and I want you to write about anything. It doesn't even have to be about what you saw, but any type of anything that you feel that you want to express or feel. Many times when I do art journaling, I write right underneath everything and then cover it all. I don't always use it for like sometimes I see Rakefet, for example, she cuts things out with the words. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't, and it's okay to do either. I want you to write about your experience, write about the colors, the textures, anything you saw, because we are going to use our collage material to do the butterfly in those colors that we saw as well. and the watercolors that we're going to use, or the paints or the inks. However, I want you specifically to write about any type of feelings. There's no right or wrong in this, okay? And take about, well, let's take a few minutes to do that. I'm going to do that myself as well. And now, Pam, do you want me to change this to my table now? I guess I can do that. I mean, for writing, it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
Um,
There's a request for you to repeat the quote.
Oh, the quote. Yeah,
Yeah, about
sorry,
the
yes.
butterfly.
Oh, yes, I'll put it in. Hold on. Just,
Thank you. I'm from Israel, and I join you at this,
I,
but my English it's not so well.
your
So
English
I
is
have a
perfect.
lot of stories, but I'm sure I'm not gonna express them well, so I'm keep myself quiet. It's very complicated to be here, as you well known, very complicated. But I'm here with you, and you are make me stronger, so it's good to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad. And maybe at the end we can share. You can share some of your stories, and I want to maybe the stories and how maybe being this butterfly and how this butterfly maybe can bring some light onto those stories as well, because there's many stories of miracles and hopes that have been circulating around, and those are important as well. Hold on, I'm just writing the quote.
Hi.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
only just
paraphrasing the quote, but it is.
I'm
Sorry,
I'm
go
in
ahead.
I'm in London, and I was on a support network for what was happening, and I missed what we're doing. I know it's a
Oh,
butterfly, and I know
oh,
writing.
so were you here when I was imagining, we were imagining the butterfly flying as a butterfly?
Oh, okay, I'll be fine with that then.
Yeah,
And
so
then
you can, I want you to write about what you felt. Or if you don't, if you were not here, then write about how you feel now in your world.
okay,
Anything goes. You don't have there's no exact right or wrong answer for what we want to is journal what we have inside of us right now, put it into paper. I'm sure a lot of us are now in a state where we can probably fill 5 papers worth of emotional turmoil. But whatever you feel like writing, that's okay.
and do we write it in the shape of a butterfly,
No, we're
or
going to write it on a piece of paper because, sorry, piece of paper right now. Not
Mhm.
everything that you write will make it to the journal, and that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's fine.
We just write it in a full because honestly, sometimes I don't know if I cut the butterfly first, then it does. I find that I work backwards better. So we're going to also collage on the other side. So choose one place to write and one place to collage. And I'm just not looking. My camera is over here. I'm gonna when I'm working with the artistic part, I will change it. The only reason why I'm not right now, I have I'm very emotional, so I want to keep this, if it's okay, private. Like, and you guys can do the same if you want, or you can share how you feel. Okay. And you can write with a pencil or a pen or whatever you want. There's no right or wrong. Okay. For me, it's funny because my first butterfly that I made is in the first page of this new journal, and I'm going to actually repeat it, but on the last page, I want to have the beginning and the end kind of enveloping my art journal. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Would everyone other than Karen please mute yourself? Thank you.
Please let me know when you're done. Just looking for stuff. Anybody wants to share how they felt or any words that they felt? Anything at all, if you want? Yes, go ahead. Hold on, Leslie.
I was on the 7th of July bombing in King's Cross Tube, and as a butterfly reminds me of when I was a child, and because I had abusive parents, and my way of escaping was through art and living in a small ball that could travel around. So I've written, sometimes the world seems too big, large, gigantic, locked into the crazy world of violence. I so want to leave, go far away, just like when a child living in a ball of safety, moving around, safe within the ball, leading an army of protection. But the ball had everything I need: food, warmth, comfort.
I love that. Wow. I really love that, actually. Anyone else? Just go ahead and unmute yourself if you do want to share.
I'll share.
So
So I saw myself as a butterfly, and when I looked down, I flew over Israel. And so I saw the whole country. And as a butterfly, I just felt like I wanted to just send love. And so I saw little hearts dropping from my wings, and I wanted to get closer to just drop love. And as I was dropping love, I was also dropping tears. Doing the exercise made me want to cry. But it also opened me up to sending more love. My heart goes out to every person affected by all of this. And I think that's nearly everybody, any human, whether they have words to share or not, have been vocal about it or not. I think every heart cries for the situation. So my butterfly just wanted to drop love for peace, for protection, for compassion, for just to ease the pain of everybody there.
that is so beautiful, because I almost want to do your journal, meaning that's what I like. I couldn't even get there, because for me, what I saw was not a lot of darkness, not a bad darkness, but as I said, the colors I saw 3 weeks ago, now all I saw was dark blues and dark purples at the bottom. All I could see was dark flowers at the bottom, not stained, or thank God, not bloody or anything like that. But it was just, but your message right now makes me feel like, okay, yes, I'm going to add those hearts. I'm going to add those butterfly hearts that are falling, because that can resonate so much with that. So I think many, like, you don't have to journal your own thing. You can journal somebody else's like love too. And I think that's beautiful. I actually am going to use yours into mine too, because I really feel that connects with me.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Pam? Am I putting you on the spot?
No, that's fine. I was wondering about sharing anyway, so let me I don't know how to make myself spotlight. I'll just, give me a moment. Add spotlight. There we go. So what I was picturing as my butterfly emerged, I saw this ground of this rubble, concrete, broken up concrete that was rigid, that was intended to seal off everything underneath it, right? But had been destroyed and was just a pile of rubble. And then I noticed through the cracks, flowers were growing up through the cracks. And in my driveway, I actually have a tulip that comes up in the concrete. There's a crack between the sidewalk and the driveway, and a tulip comes up every year, and it always moves me because I can see like visibly how man can intend one thing, and they think they're gonna control something, but nature and love and beauty finds a way. So when I was seeing this pile of rubble and I started to see a flower here and a flower there and a flower there, and then you had to go up and down, right? So when I was down, I saw mostly rubble and a few flowers here and there. But when I lifted my gaze, I saw flowers everywhere because it's a different perspective, right? And I saw the beauty and the color and the life that will not be stopped everywhere.
That's beautiful,
Like,
Pam. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
the beautiful visualization.
yeah. So if nobody else wants to share, I don't know. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I'll just put Pam on the spot because, but anybody. We are going to create, we're going to put what we wrote aside. We're going to create the butterfly second because I want to let the background dry first, the one of what we're visualizing. Now, you can use any type of materials for the background. You can do, you can use watercolors, you can use liquid acrylics, liquid inks, whatever you want, anything that that might, you know, make you feel good. You can create it on a paper if you don't have an art journal, because you can always glue the butterfly in the middle. So it's whatever, you could always, whichever way you want, there's no rule. And as I said, even if you want to create somebody else's of what you heard, or you want to incorporate, I really love the concrete also, like how you described it, because if you have things like, I mean, I don't know if you work with stencils or stamps. I work a lot with like a lot of mixed media products besides the colors. So I was when you were talking, I was imagining this like this stencil that I just bought from with all these cracks on it. Hold on, it actually fell on the floor, but let me show it to you. I kept on imagining this stencil that I just got. So when, as you were talking, so whatever you want to use to, or it could just be just paint. And if you need guidance in this, I will turn my camera so you can see what I'm doing, but obviously just most of you already have been doing this for a while, so you know kind of how to go through. Nothing, there's no right or wrong, just do what feels right for you. So the right or wrong, the right is what is right for you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm going to switch my camera, and feel free if you need to say something, just unmute yourself. You can ask a question, and if not, then just keep it mute. So it's just so all of us can like concentrate. If I'm too loud, let me know as well. I can mute myself. Okay. Oh no, this is not how I switch it. Right. So we're just going to do the background. Okay. Just make sure you can see me. Okay. So this was my original one, just to go through what I'm doing. And we're going to just create this background. And it's the background kind of without the flowers at the moment, unless you specifically saw flowers. But I'm going to start with creating the colors. So any colors, any texture, anything that you kind of saw in your visual things, or anything. It doesn't even have to be what you saw. If you want to create your own. Let's say you saw something dark, but you want to create light right now, then go ahead and change that. You don't have to, sorry, I'm just moving forward. You don't have to specifically create what you saw. You can create anything you want. I'm going to use watercolors. And I need my paintbrush. Okay. Is somebody unmuted? Is it me? No. If everybody can just mute themselves, that would be great. I can see. Yeah, whoever seems muted. I don't know where I hear this from. So for me, I didn't see the bright colors that you see in the other ones. I saw dark purple and dark blue, and that's what I will do. So for me, I saw these like really dark flowers, and I'm going to wet my whole page. This is a watercolor journal, because what I did last time is I wet everything, and then I went with my paint and literally just pressed it and let the paint run. It's a very relaxing way to do something, especially now. I need a very relaxing way to do something. There's something so satisfying about seeing paint run down through water, especially watercolors. I don't know if you guys feel that. There's something about it that, like seeing the veins. Does anybody else feel that? And
It's one of
Phil,
my favorite
oh, sorry.
things.
Yeah.
I love watching the watercolor spread.
And fill too, you don't have to fill the whole paper if you don't want to. It's totally up to you, okay? You can do as much or as little as you want. Always, I find water is your best friend, especially with anything liquid. If your page is getting too wet and you feel like you want to add darker colors to something, you can dry everything if you have a dryer or things like that, and then add more. Sometimes I have to do that, especially now that I imagine something with darker colors, you might want to do that. It's not necessary, but you might want to. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if the Genesis, how the world was before God created it. The world was a big mess. In Hebrew, it's called tohu vavohu, meaning like it was just a big pile of mess, and God put everything into perspective. That's what I was kind of imagining was. once you're done, if you're done, you can go ahead if you want to dry it yourself or let it dry on its own, and gather some collage materials if you haven't already, things that maybe connect with what you saw, how you picture the butterfly, what textures, if you like using, let's say, like I said, stencils, or if you want just collage, what colors, what paints.
They take money away from them. Why do they insist on that PayPal?
And feel free, if you want to share your backgrounds, you can, you don't have to, if they're very personal. I feel for me like I need to cover everything. Don't know why, but that's what it feels to me. Almost everything. I'm going to mute myself so I can dry this because I want to add a little bit of a darker layer. So because I wanted, what I saw was really dark. And when I mean dark, I mean in shade. You know, I didn't feel that I was in a dark place. I actually felt very calm after I finished visualizing, but I felt like the colors, the intensity was dark. My feelings were dark. And so I feel that I needed a second layer. And in order to do that and be able to get that dark color, usually this is an artistic tip, you do need to dry, especially in watercolor, so that way you can add a second layer freely. So if you feel that it's not only for darkness, also for intensity. So if you want more intense colors, let's say you're writing, you have really light color, you want them more intense, more bright, you know, less translucent, then go ahead and just dry and add a second layer. One of the things I really love doing, and you might notice in my YouTube channel, is that not only do I like, you know, kind of art journaling for healing and for telling my story, but one of the things that's really important is to learn the techniques, because without those techniques, sometimes when we make those mistakes or anything like that, we just don't know how to correct them. And it can be very frustrating, specifically for when you're creating. So it's really important to have the both things. Kind of, for me, it's really important to teach the creative part as well as the soulful part of creativity. Now I'm happier with the colors because I feel they're much darker. Please let me know if you're still working on your backgrounds. We will give you like a couple more minutes, and then we're going to, you don't have to dry it unless you're specifically done. I'm going to put mine aside for now, and we're going to work on the butterfly. Well, on the paper where we wrote, which is going to turn into a butterfly. If you have any paints or anything that you want to gather, including like all the textures, you can do that now. I'm gonna get a couple of the paints because I saw something completely different. Mhm. I'm just gathering some stuff. I also want to say, please gather if there's any words that you want on your record. Now you can work on either side, either where you wrote or on the other side. I did work on the other side and actually had the words as the wings flip up. You can see the words. It's up to you what you want to do, if you want to cover the words or if you want to work on the other side to do the collage. I've just gathered, have these envelopes where I gather things in different colors. So blues, and this is my blue one because I imagine my butterfly blue. But whatever color you imagine your butterfly, that's what you want to gather. If there's any specific words that you feel fit, or if you have like letterings that you want to include, you can do that as well. I have a little like box full of like things that I cut out of magazines, words and different things. And doesn't have to be, maybe you didn't imagine any words, but you feel very connected to some words. Like for example, when I have it, I see the word home and it just spoke to me so much. Definitely homeland. It's one of the biggest ones I'm thinking about. Embrace the love. Like there's so many different things. So I cut things out of everything. So when I did my butterfly last time, it resonated more with myself as a human being, like who I am. But right now, it is completely, I'm thinking of the global butterfly, if that makes sense. And the words are completely different. So, oops, somebody unmuted themselves. Hold on. Gosh. Can somebody, whoever is unmute? Okay, there, thank you. Okay, that's good. Okay. All right, so I want you to gather as many things as you think you can connect to. And start kind of putting them on the table. Start finding things. So right now I found a few words. Now I'm going to find some maybe textures or colors that I really connect with. So this is something I actually printed on with some paint. Looks like the colors I imagined. So that might be an thing that I want to use. I collect a lot of collage papers. This dark color, it's beautiful. Candles. This is, I think it was from Hanukkah. Yeah, I think the light would be amazing to put. Bringing some light. Yes. Maybe a map of the world. Is it a map of the world? This is a collage paper. I love collage papers. Well, why not? Maybe. Anything you can think of that you can you feel connected to. I mean, I have, let's say, example, music notes, and that would probably be, but right now I can't connect to music. I did put it in the other, but music is not one that right now I'm thinking about. I love these birds. So any little thing, I collect all the blue stuff, blue patterns. If it's people that you want to put on your collage, then you can put people. Whatever you can connect to, whatever you feel connected to, okay? And we're going to glue it first, soon, I mean to say.
Karen,
Yes.
you're doing the collage and words on the back of the page that you wrote on, right? That we wrote on.
You can do it on either side. I did it on the back and left the words untouched because when you lift the butterfly, I'll show you. Oh, did I put it? When you lift the butterfly, you can see the words behind it, but you don't have to. If you want to cover them, then it will be just white on the background.
Great, thank you.
Pavla, did you want to ask something? Or was that you that I just asked? I can see who asked. She want to, oh, there, go ahead. Oh, okay, maybe she didn't. Okay, yeah, so you can choose.
My
Oh, yes,
mouse is just sometimes thinking I want to speak, but I don't, sorry. That's my
no worries. Yeah, I don't mind seeing hands, that's okay. Okay, so I think I have enough like patterns and things that I like to use. And you have the choice of covering the whole, how do you call this? the whole background or only part of the background. Maybe I'll use the other part of this. This was this I cut out from the other butterfly. It was a piece that I didn't use, but I like the Star of David on it, so I think I might use that as well and put it on this one. So let me put this aside. So there is no right or wrong way of collaging. It's one of my favorite ways of kind of creating color and texture and things, but I use collage a lot to kind of get a background sense of what I want to do. And that's what we're going to do today. So whether you want to do it, as I said, on this paper, or you want to do it in the back, either one is okay. There's no right or wrong on this. Now, my favorite thing to use is gel medium, matte medium. This is my favorite. But you can use a glue stick, you can use regular glue, whatever you always use, because I know you've done a lot of collaging with Rakefet and Pam and Iris. So anything goes. There's no right or wrong. I just like this, or like this is kind of like a better version of Mod Podge. That would also work. The only reason I really like it is because it seals everything. So if anything ever gets wet or over time, it will never get ruined. So now it's the point of like, you know, like kind of choosing what you want to use. And one of the main things that I wanted to use was this light thing. I don't know what it is, but I really resonated with it. And I'm just going to cut around the lights and put these lights because I want to bring light into this world. This is really important to me. I mean, I guess I could use scissors, but why not? I want to use my hands for this. I don't want to cut the last candle. There we go. And that's going to be my center because I want to. So there is no rhyme and reason why I do things. It is mainly by feeling, and I think most of you are very similar to me, especially after going through the wheel of time, since we're at the end of the year. So basically anything goes, and actually very befitting. If anybody knows the story of Hanukkah, this is very befitting for the theme, because if you know the story of Hanukkah, there was a really big miracle, and the few Maccabees won against the many the Greek Empire, or yeah, I guess it's the Greek Empire, and won and defeated them, even though there were few, and there were so many miracles, and that's why we light the Hanukkah candles. Obviously, this is a very short, concise version, but this is exactly what we're going through right now. And we need miracles in our lives. We need miracles for Israel, and we need miracles for all of us. So the word Hanukkah needs to be in my thing. No coincidence, because I cut this one actually last year, but it is staying in my collage. As I said, I definitely need the word home somewhere here. So I'm just kind of placing things around. I'm not gluing anything yet because I really want to see how things will turn out. Definitely need the world here. I actually put the world in my other one as well. And I hope you're okay that I'm going through what I'm doing. Oh, I love that sunset, Pam. And I'm seeing some, yeah, really nice stuff for those of you who are sharing your thing. And okay, just opening this. I love buying a lot of collage paper, and this is actually not collage. This is rice paper. And this is the world entirely. Or almost most of the world. I can see Israel is here somewhere. So let's cut this up. I think I need to use scissors for this because it's really hard to rip otherwise. think maybe the world will be underneath. And then the Hanukkah right above, the miracle of Hanukkah. Right above it. So take your time and really like enjoy the process of gluing. I find this one of the most relaxing things to do is just gluing things and finding, I don't know, it just really relaxes me, if that makes sense. I really like this blue.
Karen, do we need to fill up that full side of the watercolor paper that we wrote on?
You don't, but then it depends. Okay, so it really depends on how big your journal is, right? Because the edges are, you're not gonna reach the edges. The reason why I usually in general always cover everything in a collage is because I don't know where things are gonna land, where things are gonna end up. In this case, we're cutting a butterfly. So you can always go back after, let's say you end up with a white part, or like you can add color on top of that. So you can add color instead of collage. You don't have to just do collagings, because we can just cover it with paint if we want to, or you can leave it white if that's what you feel. It's up to you. Like there's no, what I said, right or wrong. Like it's whatever makes you feel good. So in this case, I sometimes cover as much as I can, and then after that I use paint. So I haven't reached that point yet. Because I'm talking, I guess I'm working a little bit slower, but yeah, it's okay. I think this is really nice. No, doesn't go. The birds of peace. So there's a lot of symbolism of birds and peace. So definitely want to have these birds somehow here. I can't have them all, so. So when I more or less have what I like, you know, the idea of what I want, I kind of take, you have two options. If you really love the way it's set up, you can take a picture of it with your phone or with anything, and so that way you remember where you put things. But I don't mind if things move, because I always find whatever is meant to be is meant to be, and it will be that way. So I just move things aside, and then I start gluing. And then that's when I decide whether or not I want to add more or less, or add paint. I actually chose 3 blue colors. Somehow I'm blue galore here. Everything is blue, but that's okay because blue is a healing color. So I think that's the reason why I saw everything in blue, like the whole world was blue. So I'm just going to add and just glue it on top. So because I'm, oh gosh, my paintbrush is dirty, but that's okay. Because I am putting a really big piece of this collage paper of the world, I need just a lot of glue for this centerpiece here. And I like sealing it. So one of the things I love about collaging is sealing everything, especially with thin paper. It's really important because you don't want it to get ruined if you're putting more things. If you're going to add paint on top and other things, it really helps when you seal everything, so the paper doesn't rip. The reason why I wanted these specific Hanukkah lights in the middle, because I know definitely my butterfly is going to come in the middle here. So I don't want to miss, if there's anything that you don't want to like kind of cut out, because you really want that to be in your butterfly image, make sure you put it closer to the center, okay? One of the things that I love working with is gesso, which I'm going to show you what I do, but it can also be paint as well, acrylic paint or gesso kind of go hand in hand. But I'll show you if you ever want to use it. You can do that instead of acrylic paint. So as I'm working, I'm noticing that I do have a lot more space to put things in. So you can go back and with more cutouts and finding more images or more textures. I don't know if you've ever worked with stencils, but it's one of my favorite things to do. It's just working with stencils, modeling paste. Don't know if I will use stencils today, but definitely believe. This is also the part that kind of takes the longest, which is okay, of course. Because it's kind of, we're creating the butterfly, the most important part of our journal. I'm just looking for something. So interestingly enough, my son was just in Israel in April, and he brought me this big map of Israel. And I think I want the word Israel on this. I mean, this is too big for the map itself, but let's I'm gonna cut the word Israel out of it. Okay, so now that I more or less have what I wanted, like, which is like the things I want to show you how you can work with the paint as well. So there's different ways to approach collage. Some people glue everything and then they start covering places where they feel that something doesn't connect or doesn't, like, they don't feel that it belongs, or they want that, you know, like, let's say to hide a certain edge. There's different ways of doing this. One of them is to use something like gesso, and I'll just show you just for like learning purposes. You might not have specifically white gesso at home, but it is really helpful because once you put gesso, you can hide something and then add other colors on top. So for example, I love using white gesso. And let's say I don't want this edge to be like I don't want to show something in this corner. Then I just go and I just hide it. It's basically, I don't want this red to be here. I find that red does not belong now. I did not imagine red, but the map had a little bit of red on it. So, or let's say I want the edges of this to be hidden. You can use something like the white gesso. And it's like one of like the best almost healing cures of art. It's very helpful when you want to kind of add things, but you don't know if they're going to look good. You can always, like, you know, heal them with gesso, if that makes sense. However, you can also use, of course, things like paint. So this paint is heavy. It's called, this is Prussian blue phthalo. So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna do kind of the same idea here. Just get a clean paintbrush. So you can add certain colors or opposite colors or complementary colors to your piece. Gosh, where are my paintbrushes? So this Prussian blue looks really nice. It kind of matches what I want to do. And this is where, let's say you didn't add anything at the edges, you can do that now. And let's say I want to kind of have this blue at the edges, then you can. You can fill the edges with this. You can also, like, what's nice about this, I'll show you a really cool technique. Let me just finish. Okay. You could add something, you can use something like the back of a paintbrush. I like doing this. And just let's say you want to write a word, or you can just pretend to write a word. So let's say they want healing. How pretty that looks. So I put some paint, then use the back of my paintbrush and wrote healing into the paint, and it became white. So there's a lot of really fun techniques that you can do with paint or with collaging, and that really will look good. I really love how that turned out. You can also add like things like markings. So I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me just first add This color is so beautiful. So you could like go and make like lines. You can make circles if you have like dots. So anything goes, you know, you can use paint and you can make anything you want and make it look your own. It's your own butterfly. And I find this part like really relaxing. Because I'm able to like just concentrate on what I'm doing and not think of the pain and the uncertainty that is going on in the world right now. I think that's what art kind of does for us in a way. So Pam, to answer your question, I didn't cover it all with collage, but I use paint to go all around it because that makes me feel good. I really like those markings that I did, so that's what I'm going to make on the other side. Once you finish this, your collage part, I want you to dry it really well. If you hopefully you have a dryer or some kind of, even a blow dryer, it's fine, a hair dryer, I meant to say. Because we're going to want to draw the butterfly in the back. Now, if you don't know how to draw a butterfly, that's okay. You can print one out from the internet and you can cut it and then trace it. I see somebody really drew a really good butterfly. They showed Pavla, you're so good at drawing butterflies. I did not do such a good job. And mine was like a bit like, I mean, I have to like see, okay, maybe I'll see if I can draw. And actually, I remember you made me think of something, Pabla, and that was that I wanted to add butterflies on top of them, and I brought these butterflies that I had bought, and I do want to add one because it's really important here as well. So I'm going to glue these butterflies as well. So you can go back and add things on it. You don't have to like stop at, yeah, I'm going to add 3 butterflies of hope. 1, 2, and 3. So let me go back. Mhm. Okay. Last thing I want is to add on this side. Okay. I feel I'm done. Except for maybe writing something here. I'm going to dry mine. Hopefully it's not too loud. No. Once you dry the paint, you can go and work with markers as well. Like, so if you want to work with Posca markers and add more markings and more designs, more things that you saw in your visual like flying, you can do that as well. And just make sure your paint and your gel is really dry to make sure that you don't ruin your markers. So I might go and do that as well. Just a little bit wet. I really love this word healing here. And now I want to make sure that it fits inside my butterfly. So one of the things I'm going to add is what, gosh, hold on, I forgot your name, with the hearts. There's Cindy. I'm going to add the hearts now, Cindy, because raining of hearts and tears. Wow, that make a huge difference. Thank you, Cindy, for the love idea. In terms of the butterfly, when you're going to draw it or cut it, I had a really hard time drawing a really pretty butterfly. I felt like didn't do such a good job, but I'm going to look at what Pavla drew because I really like the way she drew it. Let's see if I can do it the same. So, or maybe I can copy one of these here.
You have a look here. I use this as a template. I don't know if you can see it. See this small
Yeah,
button?
so you're gonna.
Yeah, I copied this shape.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I think I have one also as well here. So maybe I'll try to kind of copy this one as well. Because that makes sense. Yeah, I like that. I also have to make sure that it fits in my art journal. It should be fine. Oh, I guess, sorry, I forgot to say, you can also fold it in half so then they're even if you don't want to have two sides that are the same. I think I did that in the first one. I had like different butterflies that I was trying out. So different things. I drew my black. I'll show you the body of the butterfly. I actually drew it in to the page because I had a feel, I was worried that I will not be able to like draw through, like I won't be able to glue it properly, but I'm going to attempt it now with a body itself. So we'll see how it turns out. Once you have the butterfly, we're still going to work with the background as well. It's not only the butterfly that we're well, I think it just needs a little bit more of like a and don't worry how the butterfly really turns out because whatever it turned out, it was meant to be that way. And I felt that with my first one, it wasn't like the perfect butterfly, but I always believe that perfection is not something we should like just strive to attain at all times. Because it has to come, whatever it is this butterfly represents is coming from our soul. Yes, Israel. Healing did not come, but I can add the healing part somewhere else. There's healing. Yeah, it's okay. I really love the word healing. I might just glue it on top. Let's just make this one head a little bit weird. But all the words that really were meant to be on it are on. Israel, home, embrace is almost believe, love, people, and just healing. I am going to cut it. You can just add it yourself onto it again. It can be added on. Because I do believe that healing has to be on here. Maybe on the Israel healing, yeah. Or I can just yes, I like that. So I'm going to glue it. Sorry, I'm making a mess. This is what happens. I start making a mess of everything. All right. Yeah, I really love my butterfly. Exactly how it should have turned out to be. Let me glue this. I'm going to need a little bit of a thicker gel to just glue this because it's a very thick piece. So if your pieces are a little bit thicker, you can always like use something like a thicker gel medium or a thicker glue to glue them, okay? Where did that butterfly go? So, oh, it's come again. Everybody's. How's everybody doing? How are you feeling? Okay, I'm really happy with my butterfly. And I am going to go back into my book. Remove everything. and decide whether or not I want anything in the background. So this is my butterfly. It fits perfectly in here. But do I want anything else in the background? Do I want this to be like this? Do I want to bring any light into what I was seeing underneath? Well, this is drying. I could do that. So I did really see, I landed at the end of my visualization. I landed on a flower. So I feel like I want to add the field of flowers here again. So I am going to kind of add the flowers that I saw. And before I had like these lines, but I can just create my own flowers and they can be in any way. Flower, leaves. I felt like I was seeing flowers. Maybe they were like darker than the ones I had done a few weeks ago, but they were still flowers. So whatever you saw on your bottom, whether let's say you saw cosmos, you saw ocean, you saw whatever you saw, you can go ahead and add details to this. If you saw like Pam that saw the concrete, if you want to draw that and then the flowers coming out of it, that would be like amazing. Like honestly, like that's a beautiful metaphor to what we're feeling right now. That even in the hardest times, there is still always beauty and light that comes through. So even though these flowers might be darker, might be different than what I imagined, you know, flowers, a field of flowers to be, there's still a symbol of hope, and there's still a symbol where butterflies still want to land on purple flowers and blue flowers, even if they're darker. And I'm painting them like, and I'm drawing them very loosely. It's not about if they look like flowers or they're like flat, like they're supposed to look like flowers. That doesn't matter to me. You can barely see them, right? Because the butterfly is kind of hiding it, but and don't glue the butterfly yet. I'll show you like, because that's like the last step, because then after that you cannot do anything in the background. You can't move anything because you're going to need to let it dry overnight, because the butterfly doesn't dry because you're only gluing it in the center. It doesn't dry as easily. Like the glue takes a little while to dry. So make sure that you let it dry after. Before you glue your butterflies, also, if you want to share your butterfly and see it, well, I mean, once we all finish, we can do that as well. Because once we glue them, we might not be able to lift them up. Okay. Somebody is here. And even though I didn't see white so much, I am like, want to add some light. So you can always add things that maybe you didn't imagine, but you feel that belongs in your visual journey. For me, it's white. I need to add white because white signifies hope and peace. One of my favorite ways to add white is also is to actually splatter. I'm a big splatter person. Oops, that was too much. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some splatters to my background. They bring out, I just like the randomness of them. The random splatters, they make me feel good. I just like the fact that I don't know where they're going to land, but they make everything look so good. I keep on forgetting if I'm here because I don't hear you. So I feel like I'm like talking to myself all the time.
We hear you, dear Karen. We're
I
here.
know, I know. It's just, it's odd sometimes. Even when I do like live streams on YouTube, I at least I follow the chat, which I actually have not followed. I don't know if anybody said anything now. Okay. Yeah, I like the splatters. Maybe even some splatters on the actual butterfly. Why not? My favorite. They're gonna be everywhere. Okay. So where's everybody at? I would like to, oh, that's beautiful. I like that image. Who's that? Pavla. Pavla has the coolest images. I don't know where she gets them from. She always has like really, really cool images. I can't tell what it is, but it looks really cool. Yes. What is that? Oh, it's a person. Love it. I love that. Wow. Pam, I love your background.
It's a woman with long hair,
Cosmos.
which is like sky and the stars.
Yeah, the universe, I
Yeah,
can see that.
universe. This is an image of the tree and a person
Oh,
meditating.
where are you getting these images from? They're beautiful.
There's a spiritual magazine called Spirit and Destiny, and they have these cool images there.
Wow. Okay, I need to look into this. I tried looking into yours, the one you suggested, Pam, with the birds, but they don't ship to Canada. If they do, it's like a ridiculous amount. I should look
Yeah.
into more of the spiritual ones. I really liked also, I was looking at, who was I looking at? Gina looks really interesting. I love this background. It looks very, really cool. I can't see everyone's, but those that I can see, I'm like, change myself to, okay, there we go. So you can see my face. Okay, there. I can see this. So anybody wants to share? I know some of you are still working, and that's okay. But if anybody's done and wants to share either their butterfly or their background or both, I know we haven't glued the butterfly yet, but that's one of the last steps we're going to do. But it's just, if I don't know if we'll be able to lift both of them at the same time once it's glued, because they will move. So feel free to unmute yourself if you want to. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Hold on a minute. Roxanne, wow. Okay, do you want to talk about it, share, or anything? Anybody who actually wants to speak? No, but I'm putting you on the spot at all. I'm just saying, like, oh wow, I'm late. Oh wow, who's this? Hold on, Leslie. I love that. Go ahead, Virginia.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and share. I actually turned on my camera because I'm in my second week of COVID and I think I have to get out of here now. But
Oh, I'm so sorry.
this was a wonderful exercise. Thank you so much. Also, I think I have COVID brain, but mine took a little different turn.
Wow.
I saw an army of butterflies. First I saw a butterfly as me, and I went through the visualization and the landscape it was going over and a grotto that it was coming close to. And then as I was picking out butterflies to add onto it, I had the vision of butterflies represent to a lot of people transformation. And what's needed is like an army of butterflies of light moving across the world and moving through Israel and Palestine and Russia and Ukraine, and just transforming people as they move. So it was actually a Luna moth and it kind of felt like to me almost like like a speed airplane or a bomber airplane, except it's releasing butterflies. And my plan is to add more light into it, more iridescence into it. But this was a wonderful exercise. Thank you so much.
That's really, really beautiful. I love the army of butterflies, and please share it in the Facebook group so everybody can see it. I think it's just that's such a symbol of hope, and I think it's brilliant. It's just exactly what the world needs right now. So
much for this. And
yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else wants to share?
I can share. Gina.
Yes, go ahead. Gina, yes.
Here's my, you can just see mine here. Well, can you see that? Yeah.
Hold on, I can maybe put you and pin you. Hold on. Oh, there, I'll pin you. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, then I'll hold it up in that case. Let me put on my other camera. So this is mine. Whoop.
Wow.
So when in the visualization, the thing that's really been stuck in my head right now is standing on miracle ground. And in the visualization, I saw colors and like fractals, just, everything kind of like an energetic becoming. I don't know if you ever watched Star Trek, and they would say they would, be beamed up somewhere, but they weren't quite in their form, and it was just energy spinning around. That's kind of how I see things. And so I put a little pathway of light in the middle for the. So this is the pathway of stars, and then there's Star of David's all throughout.
Oh yes, I see this.
Because Israel is everywhere, and Israelis are everyone. We're all in the same boat, I feel. And yeah, so I put standing on miracle ground on my butterfly. And I just incorporated things that I thought I saw of like flowers and basically it was a lot of formless stuff, kind of just trying to make form at the end. I saw trees and just vegetation just sprouting up everywhere. Kind of for me, that was a sign of hope. So
Wow, it is beautiful. I love that.
I love
Thank you.
the whole process. Thank you so much, Karen. And I love the story because the story of my little butterfly was, it was really cute. I've cut it up. I took a picture of it, but I'll post that on the Facebook group because it really moved me to see the story come forward.
Because I think what it is, journaling in its own, it's a story. We're telling our own stories. It's not like you're telling a story in the sense of like first, second, and third, but you're telling a story of life, a story of your own soul, of your emotions. And what comes out from there is exactly that. You're kind of, you're telling your story through art, because sometimes there's no other way of expressing yourself than with that. So
that's right. It clears a lot of feelings, doesn't it? And all the blue that's coming up is like emotions that are just like blowing, like water.
correct.
Just like
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah, that's a
process. Thank you for leading us on this.
Thank you.
You're an
Of
angel.
course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alina was asking, we'll show you in a second. Is everybody okay to stay a few more minutes? I know we took a long time at the beginning to just talk. So if you're okay, because I do want to say, I feel like every person that is sharing is bringing another message of hope from their own perspective. And I think this is really important right now. So if you're okay, I'm okay sharing. I don't have anything right now to do unless it's really late. If you're in Israel, I mean, maybe it's a little bit late for you, but if you're okay staying a few more minutes or even 15 minutes, so more people can share if they want to, it's up to you. And it's basically in terms of gluing the butterfly, all I did is just like, you're just gluing the middle, right? And I'm gluing it here. Oh, sorry, I'm like showing you, but I'm not actually turned. So I'll show you that while you guys finish a little bit more, and then let me know if you want to share anybody else wants to share. Oh, did I just freeze? Oh, there it is. Okay. So you can still use either like really good glue or the gel medium. You want something a little bit thicker. So I'm using my thicker gel medium, but you could also use school glue if you want to, okay? It's just my white was a little bit still wet from the splatter, so I did not want to close my butterfly and then everything will smush inside. But what I do is I'm just going to maybe grab like a palette knife or anything that you could add if you want to add like with a pencil, and I'm just going to add the glue at the edges here, at the center, okay? And then I'm going to just put it in the middle. You want to just press in the middle. Oops, maybe go lower down a bit. And then to make sure that nothing like kind of glues in the middle, use two things. I don't know, even my water palette, you can use this, or even something lower, like I have these like tapes. So we can just put here and here, so it kind of glues in the middle. You can also put something a bit heavier, even like a paint in the middle, to just let it stay in place. I mean, there's no science to this. I'm just gluing it in the middle, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is how mine basically looks like. It's this, and you can decorate it more if you want. I mean, you can work on it as much as you want or as little as you want. The choice is yours. Just realized my home got, there we go. So that's up to you. And I would love if anybody else wants to share. I mean, I know some of you are still working, so that's okay. And again, don't feel obliged to do that. For me, like I told you my process, so that's why I don't feel like I don't think you want me to listen to it again. But the fact that everything became blue and a little bit of purple, those are like, if you think of like things like, just switch here, things in the like chakras and the spiritual world, if you're familiar with it. Those are the highest two, like the mind and the spirit. And it's interesting that in these times, that's what I connected to the most. It's interesting that I feel that so much of it needs to be in this world, like, you know, the spiritual and the heart and the soul needs to be connected right now to all of us, because the collective consciousness is so important. Anybody else wants to share? Yes, go ahead. Lorelai, sorry. I have to
Laura.
look at your names. Laura?
Or was there Lorelei? Oh, yeah,
No, you're
Lorelei.
Lorelai, yeah.
Yeah, but mine is
Oh.
very focused on Israel,
Wow.
Jerusalem, and I have the word healing down here, and up here it's partially cut off, but it was the prayer that Moses said for his sister for healing.
Wow.
El Na Rafa Nala. And
That's beautiful.
these are, I guess, religious, more holy people, and they're holding up the Torah in prayer. And
That is a beautiful butterfly. Lorelai, wow.
thank you. I'm not finished with the background, but my background is more almost like a picture of spring with flowers blooming, etc. Because I wanted to remember Israel in its vibrancy and its color and happiness before the war began. And hopefully, once it's over, it'll go back to that way again.
Yes, symbol of hope. That is beautiful. I love that you use those images. I love that every person used different images for this, because I'm like thinking, oh, I could have used those images. I just in my head, I'm thinking, oh, there's so many things that, but it's whatever you resonate at that moment, whatever comes into your heart at that moment. That's what's beautiful. Anyone else?
I didn't use specific images, but as I was thinking about it, I have a lot of patterns in my butterfly, all different patterns. And I'm thinking that even though they're very different colors, different shapes, different patterns, they all get along. They all come together and make something beautiful.
Those are really beautiful. I love that you put so many patterns together, because you can almost see images of things inside. I don't know if you're looking, but when you're showing them to us, I can actually see flowers and I can see hearts and I can see a lot of things in your images, even people.
Yeah.
I really, really love that.
Thank you.
I love patterns. I love colors. I think those are so important for healing. So I do agree. It's really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
So if nobody else wants to share, I mean, I would love for more people to share, but I don't want to put you on the spot.
I can share.
Oh, yes, please. Jan, say your name.
It's my mother-in-law's name. It's stuck in
Oh.
there from doing a doctor visit, so I can't get it off. I'm Erin. And
Erin, okay.
I came in late to the visualization, and so, but I love butterflies, and I've had the Carpenters sing a song stuck in my head for the past couple of days. And so I did those words on the back of my butterfly, and the way that you had done yours, and it reminds me of the beautiful blue butterflies and how you can't see them when they're like this, when they're sitting, but then when they're flying, you can see the blue. So I tried to do a lot of blue. And then I did my background with the flowers, but I used not a lot of watercolor. I used a lot of sprays and stains. And so I love the green background with a lot of orange and pink in it. So thank you.
I love that. I actually really like the texture that it has. I would have used spray. I love using sprays, but I don't always know if everybody here will have them. So I kind of like stuck with the most common thing, which is watercolors. But I really love that. Those colors really go well together. And yeah, I mean, even though you didn't do maybe the visualization at the beginning, you can go back after and listen to it and maybe visualize something for yourself as well. But I do feel like even if, like you said, like you had that song stuck in your head. I mean, sometimes I have a song stuck in my head and I literally write it down, and that makes my whole journal like it's something like just comes out of my heart or my soul or whatever. So that's really good. I love how it turned out. And I also did picture that blue butterfly. It's not the monarch. I forget the name. There's a name for it. That is blue. It's really ugly on the outside.
Yes.
It's actually brown and really ugly, but then the inside it's like blue morpho. That's what it is.
Yes.
The blue morpho butterfly. Yeah. That's the one I pictured what I was actually when I was going. But I was picturing blue on the so I was picturing, so I couldn't see the outside. When it's closed, I only could see it when it's open. So it's interesting that you saw the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on. Again, I'm going to change the view. Anyone else? Anybody from Israel that I know somebody wants to I don't know, somebody wanted to share some stories, even if it's not butterfly related. If you want, you can go ahead and share. Sigal, I know you wanted to share something, so please, if you want.
While we are talking and doing the Zoom, there was bombing all over us, and I'm in the room, and the TV is telling us who dies, names of people. It's very hard to be here. I want to thank you about the session because I really enjoy it. My butterfly, I came back from a trip just an hour before the war started. So I feel blessed that I'm in here and not in another country. I came from South Africa, so my butterfly is still there. So I did an African collage.
Oh,
I don't know if
it's beautiful. She thinks she froze, but that's beautiful. Exactly on that spot where she's showing the beautiful.
Coming back to the safari and the places that I've been there. I see.
Yeah.
During these days, the last week, I was been in some funeral. I've been in a lot of families. There's a lot of families around me that don't know what about their kids or their parents, and it's very hard. And my soul now is like want to fly away from the reality. So it's very difficult to talk about it. Every home is with fear when my children are out, and there is alarm around us. So it's very, very scared. So I want to thank you about an hour that I flew away with my butterfly to Africa. And I hope everything will be okay. But here in Israel, a lot of citizens feel cheated by our government, that there are a lot of signs that something is wrong about the security, about the things that are going around us, and the government didn't do nothing about it. So a lot of people feel just cheated. So it's a feeling that it's very hard, but when the war started, everything was like putting aside, and we gathered together and feel united to do to do together, to feel together, and to help each other. And everything will be okay. We are strong, and it will be okay. And I want to thank you for your support. I saw in the Instagram a lot of in the around the world that support Israel, and it's very it make us feel together and not alone. That's it. I feel my English is.
Your English is perfect. Don't worry. We really feel. I feel connected, but and I feel worried, and I understand exactly. I mean, it's not exactly how you feel in the sense of like the imminent fear, but I do want to repeat that no Jewish person is safe right now anywhere in the world. If you think it's not happening here, it is happening in our schools right here in Toronto, where there is people coming with knives and protests, terrible. Like in London, I heard there was a huge protest yesterday, thousands and thousands of people. And I mean, there's the Israeli ones, the Jewish ones, and then there's the other ones. And if anybody thinks they're safe, unfortunately, we need to bring as much light into the world, because don't imagine, everything is relative if we're going by that. And we need to do anything possible, whether it is prayers, whether it is sending goods, whether it is helping those people that are there, like what Rakefet is doing. Please, those of you who missed the beginning, Rakefet is doing an amazing thing with Iris and with many facilitators from around Israel, helping all the people that have suffered from trauma and that need help. And they're teaching them this method of the soul method, and actually soul pages method, I meant to say. And they've already had so many donations, and they're looking for more to be able to buy products, art products, and to make the books so they can help others heal through the trauma. So if you need help, please contact Rakefet if you are wanting to help somebody else. And if you want to help any Jewish organization, just contact the Jewish organization in your city. The UJA is very important too. The United Jewish Appeal is in almost any major city, or you can look online and you can go ahead and donate to them. You can donate to Magen David Adom, which is like another organization. There's many organizations. Just make sure, if you're not sure if an organization is the right one, because there's a lot of fake ones going around, contact somebody you know who is Jewish, and just contact them and ask them, should I donate here? Contact me, contact Rakefet, contact anybody that you know, and reach out to your Jewish friends. They might not be, they might be not doing well at the moment, and they might need just a friendly hello, just to say, I'm here if you need anything. And that is like, it makes a huge difference. It made a huge difference. Thank you for all of you for standing with us, and thank you for coming today. I really hope you enjoyed the butterfly dreams. I don't know, the butterfly flying, I don't know, soaring, whatever we want to call it, anything you want to call it. And
thank you very much.
Thank you. And sorry, Pam, go ahead.
First, to say that I put the PayPal link for donations to the work that Rick is doing. So I put that again in the chat. And also, I realize Laura has been trying to speak for a little bit.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Laura. I didn't see. It's hard to see everybody. Where's Laura?
That's okay.
Laura, go ahead, please. Sorry about that. I want you to. I wanted people to share. I was all excited about it.
The moment has passed. I'm good. Yeah. Thanks. No.
Are you sure? Because I would love to see your butterfly.
That's okay. Yeah. Thanks.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't see. It was hard to see. Okay.
Can I say one last thing? This is Gina.
Yes, please.
I received a newsletter from a friend of mine this morning, and I thought it was really beautiful what she said. And she said that, can I read you? She gave us a little prayer to say, and basically it's about reaching to our ancestors, which I think is really the solution right now for world peace. I mean, everywhere where it's breaking up, I feel like the ancestors are underneath us and they could hold us and give us the foundation that we're looking for, because I find it's a very scary time, but I find it full of promise at the same time, but only if we can not be bowled over by fear. Do you know what I mean? So this, when I read her prayer, I just thought, oh my God, that feels like the answer. I'm going to do a mandala or a spread with this prayer in it. It's very short. I'm just gonna, can I read it to you?
Sure, go ahead.
She says, this is, the little prayer is just so simple. It says, you can do for us there what you couldn't do here. And then she goes on to say, a prayer to invite millennia of dead to atone for the harm they have done to one another and heal the space between them, or the space between us. And that feels so right to me, because I feel like we've all been, there's so much going on, and we have the good in us, we have the bad in us, and the wars are also going on within us. And I feel like that's maybe a possibility to help the whole world, and especially in the Middle East and Israel. So
yeah, you can share it if you want after. You can, if you're doing a spread, feel free to share it in the Facebook group as well.
I will.
So I'm
Okay.
sure everybody will. Yeah.
Thank
Anybody else wants to share? I don't want, I just sometimes have to see all the pictures of everybody, and if I don't see a raised hand, it's hard to see, or just speak up. Go ahead, Cindy.
So mine was a little hard to do because I drew Israel.
Oh,
That's
wow.
my version of drawing Israel, which is a little hard, but it took up the whole page. But then I put
Wow.
my heart in the middle. So, and then basically keeping Israel in the light, and all the other butterflies were all the people. Obviously, I'm still not done, but adding butterflies everywhere, because there's so many prayers and thoughts and prayers and just love is being sent to Israel in general, just for peace and protection and love, and just you guys are
It's
covered
beautiful.
in love.
It's beautiful, Cindy. Thank you. Anybody did a spread? Oh, there's Laura. Yay. Okay, Laura. Now your turn. See, I caught you right away. As soon as you put that arm, I'm like, oh, there she is. Anybody did a spread for themselves as well? If you, after Laura, if you want to share, it doesn't have to be about Israel, you know.
No, I
ahead.
did a spread for myself, but it was like
Okay,
very connected, and it kind of connected with that poem that was just read. So then I felt like, so that's why I didn't want to share, because I just felt like mine was just very focused on myself. But like, I just really feel like the work that I do, you know, has impact, you know, elsewhere. But like, and I feel very much called to do my own, you know, healing work. So, like during the thing, here's my butterfly, I was doing the visualization. I can't say that word either, but like in the cocoon, I did not want to leave the cocoon, you know, like I was just, it was very peaceful and calm and resting. And it's just like, I did not want to leave. And then the light was just intrusive and too bright, you know, but then all of a sudden I was flying. I felt like I was like pushed out of the nest or whatever. I didn't want to do it, but I was flying, and I was flying over the ocean, and like right along the shoreline where the ocean. So that's what I ended up doing is, you know, my background was the ocean, and yeah, and it was like I felt nauseous, you know, like I didn't want to be there. There was just a lot of feeling. I felt nauseous. But then when I focused on like how things smelled, you know, and you know, just how the humidity is near the ocean, I was able to stay present. And then like when we went down low, I noticed the sand, and like all the individual specks of sand that were there, and just how beautiful they all were, and different colors and stuff. And then so yeah, and then at the end, when we came in for landing, it was like I just saw all these really smooth, like black river stones or something that were there to land on. That's what I landed on. But it was like they were so warm that I was afraid that they would burn my little butterfly feet. You know what I mean? But I didn't feel that, but I was aware that they might be hot. So anyway, I didn't, yeah. So anyway, so I just had these, will be kind of surrender kind of things and free to be me, because like this sense of like not trying to control things, and so anyway, and yeah, so yeah, I'm not very good at articulating.
No,
what
I really
happened,
feel I
but-
connect to
but
what
it
you're
felt
saying.
really powerful, and like, yeah, like kind of an awareness of like the enormity of the ocean, but then the sea and all the people that are there, you know what I mean? Like figuring out how to be together, is just a lot. So anyway, that's what my
That was
notes.
beautiful. And I really
Appreciate it.
wanted to say something else. It was, whether it was meant to be or not meant to be, to have this healing, personal or collective. I do encourage you to, you're going to get this recording again afterwards. And I do encourage you, my shirt is so, I do encourage you to go back and listen to it again, even do this exercise again. You can do it as many times as you want. And maybe for the next one, do it for yourself, do it for something that you need to heal within you, or you need to like, every time you're feeling like you're, don't know where to land, maybe go through this visualization, and I can guarantee your butterflies are going to be the same. I mean, are going to be different every single time, because we're like, as you saw in my other butterfly, the original one, I was honestly, I haven't been able to create in a long time. That was like one of the first journals that I've created in a while. But because I was in a content or kind of happy state, that's why I saw all these beautiful flowers. But wherever we are in our journey, every time our butterfly is going to be different, right? Because we're, as butterflies, we have like different lives, like butterflies have different lives, and they just, the metamorphosis of like, it's almost it's a symbol of reincarnation as well. So if you continue doing it again over and over, as many times as you want, you will probably end up with different butterflies and different parts of of the sceneries that you're going to see. Because I was surprised that, like you, Laura, I didn't see the ocean. It's one of the things that I connect with the most, the ocean. And that's one thing that I did not see, neither 3 weeks ago, neither today. And I don't know why, but it's just what my soul at that moment needs to either heal or go through. So each one of us saw something different, and that's great. And that's what makes us so unique and so different. So I do encourage you, if in 2 weeks you do it again, and please share again, because I would love to see what comes up. Yeah. Anybody else? I don't want to miss anybody. Just raise your hand. It's easier for me to know. And if not, we can. Oh, you want to talk, Robin?
Yeah. When we were doing the butterfly visualization, I was flying through the sky, and I'm looking down on all these beautiful colors, and it's fall now. But I live in Georgia, and we don't get fall, it's just green. So I miss the colorful colors of fall. But my background was a sky.
Mm-hmm.
That's my background. I put flecks of gold in it because I was just driven to put some gold in it. Even though I saw all the flowers, and not flowers, but colors and leaves and the sky, when I came to rest on the top of a mountain that was stone, gray, dark stone. And I felt safe because I could see all around me. And I think when you've grown up with a trauma background, whether it's Indigenous people or Black people or Jewish people, or you sort of get taught very early that the world isn't a safe place and that you have to be careful and you have to watch out. And then you grow up and you try, because as children, we try to divert from what our parents say. Oh no, we're going to have all peace and love and blah, blah, blah. And then something like this happens. And I go back to, I forget who said it, you can't negotiate with someone who wants to kill you.
No, Golda Meir said it.
Yeah. So you have to form communities like we're doing, support each other, and have our love hopefully go out into the world, but acknowledge it's not going to hit everywhere. And we're still going to have to be safe, and we're still going to have to keep a watch out. And that's sad. It's sad that we can't just exist. But, and I didn't want to end on a bad note, but things like this, where we can freely talk about what we really feel and not what's politically correct, are wonderful.
Yeah.
So
Without darkness, there is no light. That's basically
right.
like what I see. So we can't, we maybe not, we might not notice the light as much if there isn't a darkness comparison, which is unfortunate, but it is the truth. And I think that's what you're basically saying. Like, I mean, I don't think we would see the light of all the what every single person today brought some light, not only to themselves, but to the world in a different way. Even if you did it for Israel, or you did it for yourself, or you did it for for anything, it is still bringing light. And that is the light that we can bring when we have, like you say, anybody who's gone through trauma. And well, let's face it, a lot of people have gone through many different types of trauma, personal or collective. I don't think we could bring this light to the world if we didn't experience the other one. So you're right. Yeah. And on this note, if anybody else is not sharing anything, let me look. I keep on seeing just myself. I really thank you all for coming today. Yeah, we took an extra half an hour, but I really hope you enjoyed it. I would love to see all your butterflies on the Facebook group, please. And if you're going to donate, the PayPal link is there. I think Rakefet also sent an email, so you might have gotten that as well. Thank you, Pam, for hosting today and taking care of all the logistics. And we'll see you very soon, and we'll continue this. And please stay safe, stay hopeful, and just continue sending love to the world, because it's so important nowadays.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone.
Karen. This was
Thank you,
wonderful.
Karen. Thank you, Pam. Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, Pam.
Good night.
Bye, everyone. Be safe.
Be safe. Lots of love.